local media has an agenda that they're going to serve. I don't know who's in charge of it or what it is, if it's like a headless monster.
You know, I was pretty happy with that one at Gerbils the other night.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
That was a good pizza.
Yeah. Fat wallets and empty hearts. Which...
Fat wallets, empty hearts.
It's insane how little musicians get. So, yeah, if you're interested in support, not just me, but any musician that you like, one of the best ways to do that, it sounds old school because it is purchase their music, purchase their merch, you know.
Hey guys, this is Mark from Rat Rod.
Hi, this is Mikey P from Skell.
Hey, this is Jeff from the Bell Jumpers.
Let's go.
Probably Dave Grohl, because he's awesome.
This is Jessica for the band Dimitus. You're listening to Pennsylvania Rock Show.
What's up, everyone? You are tuned in to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 768. Right before I came on live for you, you heard from Overload and Stereo with their song Dust and... Sorry, I can't read my... Dust and Ashes. I can't read my writing from over there. We also heard from the Dead Hazards and their song Endless Delay, and Steve Hawk, Glutton for Punishment, to start things off. You are tuned in on musicfromthe412.com, buildascene.com, xrpradio.co.uk out of Scotland, roodoradio.com out of Texas and California, megarockradio.net and 107.1 KFGD out of St. Louis, Missouri. And as always, I'm pretty sure I forgot one, and we'll figure it out later. This is episode 768. With me are members of the Chab Band, Glenn and Steve with us. What's up, gentlemen?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I wish Facebook would pick up, though. For some reason, it is not connecting tonight. I don't know what its deal is, which just means I have to upload it to like 6 different pages tonight. But that's the benefit of going live. Things don't work. All right, so Glenn was on, what was that, about a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago with
February, I believe.
February, God Hates Unicorns, with the new lineup.
Yep.
So he has a little bit of an idea what's going on, and I'm assuming since Steve said he recognized my voice that he's listened a few times. But I have some questions. I even wrote them down, which I don't normally do. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to start out with my official and unofficial question to get them out of the way right away. And the unofficial Build a Scene question is, what is the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
Not a huge pizza guy anymore, but back in the day, Church Brewworks had a pierogi pizza back when they had a wood-fired oven. And that was my go-to. But that went away, and I'm blessed with maybe Minio's. Yeah.
How about you, Glenn?
Oh, I'm repeating mine. It's because it's that good. Spack Brothers Pizza, which is located right across the street from all kind of along that general area. But when I first started playing music, original music, around town, when we played a lot of shows there, it was a vegan place, so you could get regular pizza, but all the folks in the band could get vegan stuff, and I could bring my daughters there, and they liked the pizza there as well. So, but it was definitely like every time we got booked at Roboto Project, it was like Spack Brothers, check that out, put that on the list. So that's mine. That's my pizza rock and roll story.
Yeah, my pizza's you can't get it anymore. It's that rare.
All right. So the official question is, who is your Dave Grohl? And by that I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their originals?
We do a cover song.
Yeah. The singer of Sunny Day Real Estate, Jeremy Enoch. I've been a long time fan of his, and we cover one of his songs. The proper way, I had to go get, permission to use it from the places and all that. It's on the album. We took it a different direction than the original, but I'd love to hear what Jeremy thinks, but haven't heard from him. We'll see.
We added Dave Grohl to it because I believe the original is mostly just guitar and vocals, and then we kind of rocked it up just a little bit, not a lot. So, so we Dave Grohled that. If we could get Jeremy's attention at some juncture, we would be super thrilled. Steve and I went to see. Didn't we? We went. It was in the fall last year. No,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah,
a
we
year
saw
ago.
Sunny Day without some original members, but it was mostly everybody.
Yeah,
It sounded really good.
So Steve and I stood right next to each other, kind of like, we waved as much as we could, but he didn't volunteer to hang out with us on that evening. But if he comes back, we'll do it again. We'll try.
Wow. I have lots of problems tonight. YouTube's not working. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, we're here. We're live on Twitch for sure. And that might be it.
Well, on your website.
Well, that's coming through Twitch. So,
right.
But okay, well, I will figure that out later and get it uploaded everywhere where it didn't work for those of you that are trying to watch on any of the other social media. Anyway, let's talk about your band for a little bit more, kind of take a deeper dive. How is it just the two of you, and how did it form?
Used to be a trio when I first came around. Steve,
there was
how long were you jamming out before I got there?
I didn't have anybody. We had lived in like the suburbs, my family and and I had attempted to form many bands that never really worked. Then I was the drummer of a band for a lot of years, and we moved to the city, like Greenfield, like right off the highway. And I was like, hey, there's probably a bunch of musicians around here. And so got 4 guys together, 1 left. Then we were a 3-piece for a long time, then down to 2, and then hopefully back up to 3 again sometime soon.
Right. But you and I started jamming out together with our original bass player. It was about 3 years ago. Does that sound right?
I think 4 now. Yeah.
It would be like 4 this summer or something like that.
Yeah.
And then about 2 years into it, we decided to go ahead and try to record the album, even though our bass player had just other life activities going on. Great guy. As a matter of fact, he designed the album cover.
He designed the EP cover.
The EP, yeah. Right, for the EP. Great guy. But so Steve and I decided to record the album, and then Steve just laid down a certain percentage of the bass lines. And so we've been a 2-piece, and then so we're working on getting back to having a bass player again. Working hard.
So I was reading on the website that your songs started out as poems, which brings me to the question: what's the writing process like then?
This first album were all songs that, except for the cover. Well, actually, there's a song my friend wrote too, but the rest I wrote the lyrics to. So I kind of piece together songs. Like I'll write lyrics as they come to me, write poems as they come to me. To just take notes in Google Docs and kind of add my thoughts for the day and move on. And then I'll write guitar parts and then try to just put the 2 ideas together and see what fits. And then usually, I can write a song in like an hour or something. They just come out once I get the 2 things together.
If you listen to a lot of the songs, you could tell that because not some of the songs are moderate, like short, 2 minutes or so, and so really it's more about telling the story of the lyrics, and it's like we add a music over top of it, right? That but you can tell it definitely when you listen to it that a lot of it is a little more designed to just like deliver the sentiment of the lyrics, as opposed to necessarily like writing like riffs and verses and choruses. So
Very cool. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our first break, and we're going to listen to Don't Go Racing and Crystal Pool by Steve Chab Band. And we'll come back and we'll give them a chance to do an MTV moment and tell us about one of those songs. So don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, it is that time of the night where I give away, well, I spin the wheel so that Dressy Entertainment can give away 2 tickets, courtesy of Music from the 412. This evening, that show is LA Guns with the Cheats and Xander Damos at Jurgles. April 22nd, that's a Tuesday, is show. Doors are at 6. 8 p.m. is showtime. Early entries at 5 p.m. This is a 21 and over event. If you want to purchase tickets, should you not win tonight, in advance to $22 in advance, 25 days show. To get the early entry, it's $35. What you want to do is head to DressyEntertainment.com to make that happen. For this week's drawing, we have Tom Trainer, Tina Leydig, Tammy McDaniel, Mike D'Imperio, Lori Bjorton, Jody Nides, and Keith Leydig. Each of the names are on there a bunch of times. I forget. I think I did 3 or 4. I'm going to hit shuffled once and twice as always. And then I'm going to give it a spin, and we're going to find out who is winning those 2 tickets. And our winner is Lori. So I believe Lori is a first-time winner. She'll be receiving an email tonight with information on how to claim those tickets. One email from me, a follow-up email from Dressy Entertainment, and then she'll be on her way. If you're interested in possibly winning tickets, head to musicfromthe412.com/contest. We have all kinds of tickets that we're giving away coming up. Our Shred Fest with Obscura, Filter, Jurgles, Zilch 20th anniversary show. We actually gave those away, but you can still go purchase tickets for those. Crowbot, the Alt Rocks, Blood Union we gave away with Dying Breed and a Common Crown. The Altered Egos, Clutch, with Shakedown and Nate Bergman, Fear at Preserving, Slaughter with Truck Stop and Post Traumatic, Rocket Mafia as in Ricky Rocket from Poison, Buddy Guy, yes, that Buddy Guy, the blues legend, Billy Price Band, The Sweet with the Creedmoors and Rattlebones, Striper, Bill Toms, VZH and M Acoustic Union, Sister Hazel, The Sages, Lido Ford, Mushroom Head, Psycho Stick, Battle Satellite, and more. Head to musicfrom412.com/contest for more information. Hey, it's Bill. We're headed into segment number 2 with the Steve Chab Band. If you're just tuning in, you missed Overload in Stereo, Dead Hazards, Steve Hawk, 2 Steve Chab Band songs, and the first segment of the interview. So let's find out some more about the band. Okay, so I kind of heard you guys, but didn't hear everything that you wanted to talk about. But I think you mentioned you wanted to talk about who recorded the album. Was that?
Well, we could, yeah, sure. So we recorded the drums at Glenn's house with some fancy mics he has. And then we did everything else at my house. I have a little studio on the 3rd floor. And then we sent it to Jacob Metter to do the mixing and mastering. He's in Texas. It's funny, you just played the Jeremy Enoch song that we cover. I found him because he's a Jeremy fan also. And like some website, both of our musics were tagged Jeremy Enoch. And he was like, hey, if you ever need someone to engineer your songs. And so he did my first solo album, like way back in the day. He mastered that. And
Very
mixing
cool.
is always arduous. I can do it. It's tedious. And we had the budget, so we're like, let's have someone else do it.
That's kind of my situation with video editing. I know how to do it. I just hate it. So as far as the album, where can people get a copy of that?
There's no physical copy, but there is a book that you can order on Bandcamp. So the lyrics, it's like an oversized lyric book. So the poems has a bunch of artwork. It's pretty cool. If you've ever sat down and read a poetry book or something like that, it's kind of like that. But every cover is hand stamped with paint. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's our website. There's an online version too. Glenn just
Why is
put
Glenn
Someone-
up there? Let me move Glenn up.
there's a web version too. So stevechab.band. That'll get you the web version of the book if you don't like physical copies or want to see it for free. But the album's everywhere you can stream, anywhere.
I don't know why Steve is there. It won't let me move him. Having fun tonight. Here, we'll move him over me. There we go.
There.
Hey, so the website now makes a little more sense to me now that you held up the book.
Got it.
So when I click here, I'm assuming this is kind of how the book goes. It starts out
It's
with
like the table of contents, and you can pick what you want, or you could just use the left and right arrows to page through.
Does that have a link to the video on there?
Yeah, on the homepage. If you go back to the homepage, you can click YouTube.
Steve made a really interesting video for Crystal Bowl.
Unfortunately, I can't pull it up because as soon as the music would start playing, we would we would have an issue.
Just,
but
for reference,
it
was a fun video to make. Steve used some special tools.
What I'll do is I'll take it and embed it in the show notes, so when people go to check out the podcast, they can see the video too.
Cool. Yeah, we shot it in portrait mode with a bunch of different phones, and then kind of green screened in some shapes. And then I lowered the frame rate down to like stop motion, 10 frames per second. And then every frame, all the green screen stuff was AI generated. So every frame, 10 frames per second, there's a new scene for bits and pieces of the frames, which is not us. It's kind of disturbing if you stop it in the middle because there's like another drummer right next to Glenn, or like it's my guitar, but someone else's face. It just kind of, it's pretty trippy. Yeah.
I get the green screen thing. There's one behind me right now in case nobody figured that out. My little studio in AK Music Scene studio here, or my living room. The show is always, well, not always, all but like 4 times has been in this room out of 768 episodes. So
that's consistency.
Yes. Okay, so let me ask you this question. I don't know if I've even ever asked this question in this show. What is the best advice you've been given as a musician?
Well, I don't know if I have a specific sentence exactly, but I would say that my dad spent a lot of time singing and as a musician, and so just over the years, I've heard him give me stories and anecdotes and advice that I think has kind of helped me be ready to rock out with different folks and try different things. So I would say anything my dad tells me, and he even critiques my individual performances, so I get that kind of positive feedback. So that's mine.
Well, since we're talking about Glenn's dad, I'll just say, I mean, advice is great, but like when people encourage me, that even means more. And Glenn's dad being like he was a professional singer for a long time, and he did vocal lessons too, right? Like he taught lessons. Is that right?
You know what? He was more of a church guy.
Okay.
You know, he sang in like choir and even on TV a few times on a television station.
Okay. He
But
did doo-wop stuff though, right? Like a lot of
mhm,
doo-wop.
oldies and a cappella music. So yeah,
Yeah,
he
but
knows vocals best.
yeah, but Glenn's dad, he's like really good at vocals, and he said that he likes me, and that was a compliment. I'm like, whoa, like here's a guy that knows what he's doing, and he thinks I'm like decent. Like that's cool.
Hey, I'm going to ask you one more question, then we're going to take our second break. When did you know that you wanted to be a musician? Like, what made it click?
I don't know. Like my dad was doing music. There was a music room in my house, so um, it was like automatic. It was gonna happen because there was like 5 instruments laying around. So, but there was a juncture when I decided I was gonna play drums, and for some reason, I don't know. I think the first song I ever played drums to was a song by The Cure. What is off of the Kiss Me album, Just Like Heaven. For some reason, I was like, I need to play that. So that was my official mental note that's what I wanted to do. I was probably like like 15 or 14 or somewhere in there whenever that came out.
Yeah, I'd say probably around the same age for me. I got my first computer, and I was I'd already been playing guitar for a few years, and I got a computer and started messing with like looping stuff and programming drums and programming electronic music, and eventually got into a band and just realized, hey, I guess this is what I do now. I guess I write music and perform it.
Cool. So
when I was in grade school, I did piano, and they would force me to play like piano while the rest of the whole rest of the class would get to sing. So it was I was instructed, you must be a musician.
So I completely messed up, and we didn't talk about your song Crystal Bowl. We're going to do that in just a moment when we return. Hey, it's Bill. You're tuned to the Pennsylvania Rock Show. This is episode 768. My guests tonight are the members of Steve Chab Band. I almost said the. I have a bad habit of doing that. Just like the Pennsylvania Rock Show has a lowercase t and then capitals for everything else. So I try to make sure that anything that is like that in a title that I follow through. So if I say the Steve Chab Band, you can yell at me.
That's cool. I think you'll still get us if you Google with the in there.
Good idea.
Yeah, Glenn has stacks and stacks of drums.
Yes, I'm
You want to
noticing.
see the hall of drums? You ready? Ready? There we go.
Those 2 middle ones are for sale. If anyone wants
Hall of drums. If anybody needs a couple of drum sets. Anyway, there it lies.
Hey, so tell us a little bit about the song Crystal Bowl.
Sure. Yeah. It's a poem I wrote. So I used to work for Carnegie Mellon and University, and the business school was named after David Tepper, one of their alums. And I got to do a lot of stuff there. But there's a famous photo of him from like way back in the day. I pulled it up. Might be hard to see, but he's at a desk, old school computer, and the only thing on his desk besides the computer is this crystal bowl.
Okay.
See if I can mimic his. Put that back up for a second.
All right, you need a soup.
Oh, sorry. He was kind of like this. He's got like one arm down, and he's like, all right.
Yeah. So Mr. Tepper there, I'm like, oh, that'd be so cool to like maybe write a song where like everyone worships this crystal bowl. Because it's like a crystal ball, you see the future of the stock market, et cetera, like some rich guy who's richer than most of us will ever know. So I wrote a song about someone worshiping a crystal bowl, and there's a bunch of like cow jokes in the song, basically.
I'd like to think, Steve, I don't know if you ever thought of it this way, but there's some ride bell, almost some moments where everything drops out in the song, except for the ride bell. It's like ding, 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 kind of like right after the first verse or whatever.
Yeah.
I like to think of that as like a bell, a cow, like ding, like walking down the path or whatever.
Yeah. Call the cows home.
You can hear, you'll hear the cow walking if you listen to the song in a couple of spots.
I just flashed to the more cowbell skit from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
A
classic.
Hey, here's one of my oddball questions for you. So you guys are headed out on tour and you hire me to drive the bus. What music am I going to play in between stops?
Oh, man. Steve and I, we like the same stuff for the most part. I'd venture, usually most of the time, it would be me constantly trying to play things that nobody's ever heard before, so I could get some credit for introducing you to your new favorite band. But it would probably be some artsy stuff. There certainly wouldn't be any country, I don't believe. Probably not too much.
What are you jamming on now? What are you jamming on now, Glenn? What am
I? Oh man, I'm gonna draw a blank. Oh, my favorite band lately is You Bet. So I would be playing you all kinds of the 2 albums by the band You Bet, which Steve and I went to see live at the Bottle Rocket Social Hall about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
It was a real good show. So You Bet, all one word, YOUBET, and they're from New York.
And Steve, before you answer, Steve, in the last segment, I'm really batting 1,000 tonight. In between the 2 segments, we played Cabin Full of Bears, Slip a While, which is my cousin's band, and I completely forgot to mention it. And the other one is a new track from Mighty Casey out of Millville, and it's called All the World is a Ghetto. Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
You're cool.
What would we be playing?
Casey.
Thanks for playing local music so much, man. It's really cool.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's so nice of you to share all these folks' music, including us. And
well, you actually just said what the goal is. You said you like to try and introduce people to music that they wouldn't have heard. That's what I've been doing for 20 years.
Yeah. It's a thing. I don't know what that is. It's like maybe once you introduce a few people and you see them happy, you're like, I want to do that again. Right?
Yep.
So here's a band you probably never heard of. It's a dude from Russia, and Glenn likes these guys too. This guy, they're called Abstract Void.
Oh, absolutely!
It's like black metal, but
and
there's 80s synth in it, and it totally works. You're like, wait, that sounds weird, but it's perfect. It's like Rush doing the soundtrack to an 80s racing game. It's a
with blast beats.
It's wonderful. Yeah. And then there's this emo band with a female singer I've been listening to a lot. They're called Leam of Earth, And they've it's funny, they kind of sound like us, but they have a chick singer. But I like them a lot. They're more chill than us, I think. But yeah.
All right, so this next question is definitely a new one for the show. What do you think the most challenging thing is as an unsigned band?
Doing everything. You don't have, there's like no one to help you, because like I run Facebook and try to book shows and recording stuff and talking to people. If I could only hire like an assistant.
I'll help a little bit more if you need it.
I wasn't complaining or fishing for that, Glenn.
Actually, this would be a perfect moment, because I was just talking to the folks from GHU, and my daughter's graduating from Slippery Rock with a degree in PR, marketing, and band music promotion, etc. So I was gonna ultimately ask you. You know, she might be of help with some of that stuff, especially with the online stuff. So
Dude, don't say
photographs.
that, because everyone's gonna like.
They're all gonna hit her up now.
Yeah, she does. It's Ellie Durham. She has a whole online profile, with all of her options if you want to book her to do band photos and things like that. So I'll send that to you, Steve.
Sure.
We can think about it.
I've been wanting to do some like guerrilla marketing, like leaving stickers on stuff around the city and like calling cards on like bus seats and stuff.
If you walk around the right parts of the city, you will find Music from the 412 stickers all over the place. I would like to go on record that it was not me. I may know who it was though. Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys one more question. I'm going to let you go for the evening. And that's what's coming up next. Are you headed to the studio? What shows do you have coming up? Anything that answers that question would be great right now.
Cool. Yeah, we have one show as a band booked, and that's in June, on June 7th at 2 p.m. at Hoot and Hollers Music Fest. That's up by Oil City, PA. And I'm going to be trying to do a weekend tour of Rochester, New York as a solo acoustic version of the band. Not sure if that'll be in May or June yet. I know some people, and hopefully we can fit in 2 or 3 shows in one weekend. I can fit that up there. Yeah.
If we get a bass player working with us, then we'll probably try to add some other shows. So keep us in mind, and we'll try to let everyone know that we are kind of ready to add some more. Maybe we can jump on a couple of smaller shows around Pittsburgh. So
that brings up a bonus question. How can people get a hold of you?
stevechab.band or facebook.com/stevechabpgh.
Okay, so any bass players out there or anyone looking to book shows, if you're watching the video, it's right. Well, not under me. I can't point that kind of. Anyway, Steve, point down, right there. stevechab.band.
Yep.
And it'll be linked in the show notes on buildascene.com, or musicfrom412.com. But I want to thank you two for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And we have 2 more tracks to go for tonight. We're going to get country-ish here at the end. We're going to hear from Craig Veltri and his song Biloxi. I cannot say it. Biloxi. Like Mississippi. And then we're going to hear from Charlie Barath and his song Ollie Ollie. And if you like the harmonica, you'll want to stick around for that one. Next week, we'll be talking to punk rockers Caught on Sight. And as always, make sure you go out and support some local music and visit buildascene.com and musicfrom412.com for your local and unsigned music needs.